Mortal Kombat 11 is better than Mortal Kombat 1, at least according to some people online. Let me know in the comments section if you agree or disagree with that statement and tell me the reason why. For me personally, I don't think things are that black and white. I definitely prefer the gameplay in Mortal Kombat 1, but I'm also willing to admit that Mortal Kombat 11 did some things better. Starting off with the Crypt. Not having this game mode in Mortal Kombat 1 is a travesty, and basically nobody disagrees with this statement. But on top of that, Mortal Kombat 11 did it the best. Never before has the Crypt ever been this cool. Tons of puzzles, deadly traps, and scary monsters to avoid. A moment of silence for any of my viewers that had arachnophobia, because that game must have been torture for you. I'm only a little bit scared of spiders, and even I was jumping out of my skin sometimes when those enemies caught me off guard and killed me out of nowhere. But I digress, back on track. The Crypt was so much fun, and I felt like a kid again. Just walking around and exploring was so much fun. You felt like a true adventurer. There really was so much stuff to do, so much content in this one game mode alone. Unless you used online guides to cheat, finishing the Crypt would take you a while, and honestly, even with the guides, you were still spending several hours in the Crypt. The developers really did do a great job here, and I think they deserve all the credit for the Crypt in Mortal Kombat 11. I never thought the Crypt in Mortal Kombat X could be improved upon, but somehow they did it and made it even more fun and even scarier too. The Crypt in Mortal Kombat 11 has so many secrets, and you can even reload the chests with new items in case you open them all. Now, with all that being said, the Crypt was far from perfect. It had some issues, to be sure. A lot of the items you wanted the most would simply never show up in the Crypt. I mean, unless you won the lottery, the odds really were stacked against you, and to this day, I'm not sure if people online were being completely honest. Because some people would claim to unlock rare items like Jax's classic arms in the Crypt, but I've never actually seen it. And the same goes for Scarlet's Cold War skin and other rare items like that. People would claim to have unlocked them in the Crypt, but I could never pull it off, and I never even saw videos of people doing it, so I'm not sure if it's true. There were so many rumors. But you get the idea. While there were tons of cool things to unlock in the Crypt, a lot of the stuff you wanted the most simply was not there for some reason. And after about a week or so, there was nothing left to unlock. You would only be getting random items that you didn't really care about. I know hindsight is 2020, but a nice way to fix this would have been for NetherRealm to add Combat League items from past seasons and other cool stuff like that. Give players a fun reason to keep coming back to the Crypt. Keep in mind, I'm not a fan of live service games. I'm not trying to defend that. I'm just saying that as the game got more content, it would have been cool to put that content in the Crypt as a reason to keep going back. Because once again, the environment looks so cool, the traps are fun to avoid, I like the scary monsters, so give me a fun reason to keep coming back. If you're adding new content anyway, then put it in the Crypt. But next up, it's time to talk about a big mistake with the Crypt that we have to mention because it was such a big deal at the time and people still haven't stopped complaining about it for good reason. Of course, I'm talking about the severed heads. My god, the severed heads. This might be the worst example of grinding in Mortal Kombat history, and I'm not exaggerating. In order to unlock the final area in the Crypt, you needed to perform 50 fatalities on every single character for the base roster. That's right, 50 fatalities for every single character. And you had to do it in specific game modes. You could not use the fatality practice and grind for it that way. No, no, no. Instead, you actually had to beat the opponent, the AI opponent, and then do the fatality. There is a car alarm going off outside, and it happens almost every day. Either somebody really wants to break into this guy's car, or he just sucks at getting into his own car. Okay, there we go. It's finally gone. Back to the recording. Okay, so yeah, do hundreds of fatalities just to get into this one room, which admittedly does have a ton of cool stuff to unlock. It's really fun. And the environment itself also looks really cool, but at the end of the day, was it really worth the time? Was it worth doing 50 fatalities on every single character? Listen, I understand that fatalities are a cornerstone of Mortal Kombat. You could argue it's why the series is so popular to this day, or at the very least why it became popular in the first place. So I understand why the developers think fatalities are so cool and we just want to do them all the time, but the reality is nobody wants to watch them 50 times on every character. But thankfully there is some good news. Later on, the heads got reduced to 25 fatalities a character, I believe. Or in other words, half the original amount, which is better, but still the grind is absolutely insane. Now thankfully there was was a glitch discovered early on to avoid all of this grinding, and I myself even made a video on it because it did save that much time and really was that big of a deal. However, unfortunately, this glitch did not stick around for very long. I believe the developers fixed this glitch in about a week or so, which means the grinding had returned, and now the only way to unlock that final area was to do the 25 fatalities on every character, or 50 fatalities on every character if you were playing the game early enough. So yeah, in summary, the Crypt mode was not perfect, but it did do a lot of things right, and even tried some new ideas like the furnace that let you craft unique items if you knew the recipe, and you also had the shrine to sacrifice coins to. That was kinda cool. There really was a bunch of stuff to do in the Crypt, and I do love how Mortal Kombat 11 said go big or go home. If we're gonna make a fully realized version of the Crypt, then we're gonna put in pretty much every single idea we can think of and make it as good as we possibly can. That's really cool. I for one believe that every Mortal Kombat game should have the Crypt in some way or another. The boring shrine in Mortal Kombat 1 sucks. It's nice getting new free stuff every month, don't get me wrong, but it's still boring. At least give me some way to unlock 10 items at once or something. Because having to spend 1,000 coins one after another over and over again until I'm out of money is so dull and so boring, you can't even skip the animation, you're forced to watch it. And unfortunately, I do think that's by design. I think the developers want you to sit there just watching it because that keeps you playing the game for longer. Okay, so next up, let's talk about the in-game currency, because shockingly enough, Mortal Kombat 11 actually did this much better than Mortal Kombat 1, and allow me to explain. Right off the bat, you can get time crystals for free every day in Mortal Kombat 11. All you have to do is complete 5 Kombat League matches that day. You don't even have to win the matches, just play 5 matches and you're done, which doesn't take that long. It's honestly a very nice incentive to log onto the game and just play for a bit every day. I know not everybody wants to spend hours a day playing online, but just like 1 hour is enough time to do 5 Kombat League sets, and I think most people would be okay with that. Which is why I think Mortal Kombat 1 absolutely needs to have this, because grinding a character to max rank does take way too long, even after the update that makes it faster, and even if you do use the optimal methods to level up as fast as possible, it still takes too long. Plus, eventually you do run out of characters and reach your max profile rank too, which means no more free crystals. Once again, Mortal Kombat 11 did this better. Every day you can log on and get free crystals. NetherRealm, bring back the daily crystals, it's so much better. And also, look at Kombat League. You get crystals for reaching the higher ranks, over 4,000 combined if you reach the top rank. That's over $4 for free, which I know isn't a ton of money, but combine that with the daily challenges and you would never have to spend real money for a skin in Mortal Kombat 1 ever, and I just think that's really cool. I mean, it's also why it's very likely to not happen, at least not for now. I think maybe in the future, to get more players to come back, there's gonna be easier ways to unlock the crystals, or just more ways to get crystals in general, very similar to what Mortal Kombat 11 is doing right now. I'm not psychic, I can't see the future, but I'm just saying, if that did happen in the future for Mortal Kombat 1, I would not be surprised. Now, with all this being said, I do want to make one thing very clear. I hate having to use in-game money to buy stuff. There should always be an option to buy the costume directly with real money. Stop forcing the player to spend more than we actually want to. Now, Mortal Kombat 1 is much worse, for the record, do not get me wrong. $10 for a skin is egregious. I think even $5 is too much. If I had my way, then every skin in any fighting game would cost $3 at the most. And once again, you'd be able to buy it with direct money. There'd be the option to grind in-game currency too if you wanted the item for free, but you wouldn't have to buy these weird increments that trick you into spending more money. But unfortunately, that's what all fighting game developers are doing at the moment. They force you to buy the in-game currency, and it's always barely more than you should actually have to spend to get the items you want, and I think that sucks. Which once again is why I appreciate that Mortal Kombat 11 gives you so many more ways to get the in-game currency. You literally won't have to spend any money in Mortal Kombat 11 if you play the game a decent amount. Not a crazy amount, keep in mind, just a regular gamer's amount of playing. Because once again, it's 50 crystals to do 5 Kombat League sets. Imagine if that was the case for Mortal Kombat 1. You spend about an hour or less playing Kombat League each day for 10 days, and now boom, you have 500 crystals and can buy one of the cheaper DLC costumes. Why aren't more games doing this? Street Fighter V kinda did it, where doing the combo trials would give you free stuff, even free characters if you played long enough. But then sadly, in Street Fighter 6, that's no longer the case. You gotta buy the characters and you gotta buy the DLC skins, there's no other way to unlock them. But there you have it everyone, 2 ways that I think Mortal Kombat 11 is better than Mortal Kombat 1, and I understand why some people prefer playing that game over Mortal Kombat 1. In a future video, I definitely want to do the opposite and explain all the things Mortal Kombat 1 did better than Mortal Kombat 11, but for now, I'm gonna turn the video over to you. If there are things you prefer in Mortal Kombat 11, please let me know in the comments down below. Like I keep saying, I really do read all the comments, so grab that keyboard and make your voices heard. Thanks for watching, and I hope you enjoyed. If you did, please leave a like down below, it helps my channel out a ton, and then finish that combo by subscribing and ringing that bell so you never miss any future videos. Make sure to come back next time, and as always, stay underdogs.